Hello children, good morning. Welcome to our English class. Okay, my name is N JAYAPRADA, working as English teacher in KGBV PADERU of Visakha district. Children, how are you all? Hope you are good and enjoying the online classes. Okay, today in this class I want to discuss the second unit of our English textbook. The second unit of our English textbook. Okay. Next, you all know that our English textbook has 6 units. Our 8th class English textbook has 6 units. The first unit is already over in online classes, and second unit part 1 is also over. Okay, and so now we are going to discuss the second part of second unit. So we all know that each and every unit has one theme is there, and the second unit has 3 readings. The theme is also there. 3 readings. A reading, the selfish giant part 1, B reading, the selfish giant part 2, and C reading, the garden within poem. There is a poem titled as the garden within, that is C reading. Okay, so the first A reading is already over. So now we are going to discuss B reading. Okay, and before going into the lesson, so let us focus on the theme. What is the theme? Humanity. What is the theme of second unit? Humanity. Humanity means what? Compassionate and sympathetic. Compassionate and sympathetic. We all know that how important humanity is to connect people, to connect relations. So to connect relations, humanity is very important to us. So here in this lesson we find how humanity is. Going throughout the lesson we find the humanity, how humanity plays its role. Okay, so now before going to the lesson, let us know something about the author. Okay. So what is the name of the author? Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde. So Oscar Wilde, he was born in 1854 and died in the year 1900. 1900. He was an Irish writer and poet. So in his life he wrote so many plays, dramas, etc. and as well as he wrote poetry also. That's why he was a writer as well as a poet. Okay, after writing in different forms throughout the 1880s, he became one of London's most popular playwrights in the early 1890s. So by his writings he became popular in early 1890s. Today he is remarkable for his epigrams and plays. Oscar Wilde is best known for the novel The Picture of Dorian Gray and the play The Importance of Being Earnest. The Happy Prince and Other Tales is a collection of stories, is a collection of children's stories. Okay, that is about the author. Okay, so children, let us have a glance on the glossary also. Let's have a glance on the glossary. If you came to know all the meanings of the glossary, then you are able to understand the content well, the story well. Okay, so let us have a glance on the glossary. Okay, all of you open page number 43. Page number 43 open. Okay, turn on page number 43 and look at the glossary. So the first one is linnet bird. Linnet bird means a small brown and grey bird. So a small bird colored in brown and grey. Next, hail means small balls of ice that fall like rain. So small balls of ice that fall like rain, that is hail. Cease means stop happening. Cease means what? Stop happening. Twittering means making a series of short high sounds. Twittering means making a series of short high sounds. Sneeze. Sneeze means suddenly expel air from the nose and the mouth due to irritation in one's nostril. If we have any problem in our nostrils, then we sneeze. So that is sneeze. Feeble. Feeble means lacking strength. Lacking strength. That means very weak. Hath. Hath. It was so in old uses. Has. Has. Within bracket the one word is given. That is all uses. Next. Thee. Thee means you. Slay. Slay means kill. Ought. Ought means are. Thou. Thou means you as a singular subject of a verb. Okay, these are the new words or key words we find in the lesson. So now let us go to the lesson. So all of you turn on page number 39. Page number 39. Okay, here the selfish giant. So the selfish giant. So the title itself shows the characteristics of the giant. He was a selfish character. Selfish and selfless. So he was full of selfish mentality. Selfish means lacking consideration for other people. Selfish means what? They never care. They never consider other people's opinions or something like that. That is called selfish. Okay, here the giant was very selfish. Okay, and one more thing we have to notice here is the giant is there and the old giant is there, no? So the two people are referred to same character here. The giant and the old giant refer to same character, but so we should find that, we should notice that old giant is a selfish character, the giant is a kind character. So if we understand that thing, we may able to understand the content, the story very well. So the old giant is a selfish character, whereas the giant is a kind character. Okay, so here let us read the lesson. One morning I was lying awake in bed when I heard some lovely music. Sounded so sweet that I thought it must be the king's musicians passing by, but it was really only a little bird singing outside my window. So the old giant finds, so when he wake up in the morning, he heard some nice music, and he thought that some musicians are passing by, but it was really only a little linnet bird. Linnet bird means small bird, gray, colored in gray and brown. We already learnt in the glossary. Linnet bird singing outside my window. It was so long since I had heard a bird sing in my garden that it seemed to me to be the most beautiful music in the world. So he heard some nice music. It seemed that it was the most beautiful music in the world. Okay, next, the giant. The giant. Keep in mind, children, keep in mind that old giant is a selfish character. The giant is a kind character. Keep that in mind also. Okay, the giant. The hail has stopped dancing over my head. The north wind has ceased his roaring. A delicious smell is coming from the window. I believe the spring has come at last. The giant jumps out of bed and looks out through a little hole in the wall. The children have crept in and are sitting in the branches of the trees. So when he the giant finds, the children creep. So this is a verb to creep, crept. The children slowly crept and are sitting in the branches of the trees. Okay. The old giant. In every tree I could see a child. The trees were so glad we have the children back again that they had covered themselves with blossoms and were waving their arms gently above the children's heads. The birds were flying about and twittering with delight, and the flowers were looking up through the green grass and laughing. It was a lovely scene. only in one corner. It was still winter. It was the farthest corner of the garden, and in it was standing a little boy. He was so small and that could not reach up to the branches of the tree, and he was wandering all around it, crying bitterly. The poor tree was still quiet, covered with frost and snow, and the north wind was blowing and roaring it. Climb up, little boy, said the tree, and it bent its branches down as low as it could. But the little boy was too tiny. It was then that my heart melted. So there was a little boy in the corner of the garden. So many children are playing. They climbed the trees. Well, but a little boy, he was in the corner of the garden, and he was unable to climb the tree. The tree itself bent its branches, and it asked the boy to climb up, but the boy is too small and he was unable to climb the tree. Turn on page, next page. Okay. Okay, look there. So there we are we are finding the giant there. The giant is there. What is the giant doing? The giant. How selfish I have been. Okay, I already told you that the giant is a kind character. Old giant is a selfish character. Now the giant realized that how selfish I have been. Now I know why the spring would not come here. I will put the poor little boy on the top of the tree, and then I will knock down the wall, and my garden shall be the children's playground forever and ever. Now he want to rectify his mistake. So how selfish I have been all these days. So how selfish. I did not allow the children to play in my garden. So that's why my garden is also not beautiful. Now I will make all the children to play in my garden. So that's why he thought himself. Next, old giant. I was really very sorry for what I have done. I was really very sorry for what I have done. So I crept downstairs and opened the front door quite softly, and went out into the garden. But when the children saw me, they were so frightened that they all ran away, and the garden became winter again. Only the little boy did not run, for his eyes were so full of tears that he did not see me coming. So I stole up behind him and took him gently in my hand and put him up into the tree. And the tree broke at once into blossom, and the birds came and sang on it. And the little boy stretched out his two arms and flung them around my neck and kissed me. When the other children saw that, they came running back, and with them came the spring. Okay, so when the children saw the giant, the old giant, they all ran away with fear. But on seeing that, the little boy was unable to ran away. So he was standing there only. So on seeing the little boy, the giant hid himself, and he made the child to climb the tree. So then the little boy kissed the giant. On seeing this scene, all the children came again to the garden, came into the garden. All the children came into the garden. Okay, the giant, it is your garden now, little children. So now addressing the children, the giant said, it is your garden. Come and play in the garden. Old giant, I took a great axe and knocked down the wall, and when the people were going to market at 12 o'clock, they found me playing with the children, and the most beautiful garden they had ever seen. All day long we played, and in the evening the children came to bid me goodbye. So all the day he played with the children, and he changed his mind. Now the children also came near the giant. Okay, now the children are talking with each other. Look at the conversation. Tall girl, short boy, square girl, graceful girl, round boy, graceful girl, tall girl, round boy, the giant, graceful girl, round boy, the giant, tall girl. So all these children are speaking. They're sharing their ideas. So tall girl. Now we have somewhere to play. So we thought that all these days there is no place to play. But here we have somewhere to play. The giant became good. Short boy. This is much better than the road. All these days we played in the road. But now we have nice garden to play. Square girl. Yes, the road is so dusty. And the dust make me sneeze. Make me sneeze. It created problem in my nostrils. Graceful girl. And the grass is so much nicer than all those hard stones. Round boy. I like all the flowers. Graceful girl. And the trees. So here the children are, look at the mood of the children. All the children are very happy by seeing the giant. Because the giant allowed the children to play in the garden, in his garden. Okay. Next, old giant. Every afternoon, when school was over, the children came and played with me, but I never saw again the little boy who I loved. Oh, I would like to see him again. I have grown old and feeble, waiting. I cannot play about with the children anymore, so I sit here in my armchair and watch the children at their games and admire my garden. I have many beautiful flowers, but the children are most beautiful flowers of all, getting up and looking out of the window. So all the children are coming and playing with the giant, but the small child, one child is there, no, in the corner of the garden. The child did not come. So, but the giant wants to see the child, small child. I no longer hate the winter. It is merely the spring asleep. The flowers are resting. Suddenly, he rubs his eyes in wonder and looks around. What a marvelous sight this is. In the farthest corner of the garden, a tree covered with lovely white blossoms. Its branches are all golden and silver fruits hangs or down from them. And what is this? Can it be? Oh, can it be? He has come back. He has come back. So one day, when he was in the garden, looking into the garden, he saw the small child again. He saw the small child again. The old giant leaps down the stairs. He jumped from the down the stairs into the snowy garden and to the grassy patch where the child is standing. When he draws close to the child and examines him, his face grows red with anger. Red with anger. Old child. Who hath dared to wound thee? Who hath dared to wound thee? Your hands, your feet. Who hath dared to wound thee? Tell me, that I may take out my big sword and slay him and kill him. So the little boy was, his boy's body was fully covered with wounds. So the giant is asking, who had done all these things to you? I will kill him. I will take out my sword and kill him. Nay, nay means no. But these are wounds of love. What are these? These are the wounds of love. They are necessary. They are necessary. So if we help someone, so we may find some wounds, but those are wounds of love. Those are necessary for us. Falling to his knees, little child, who art thou? Child smiling, you let me play once in your garden. Today you shall come with me to live in my garden, which is in paradise. Here you showed humanity. You showed humanity in your life. So from now onwards, you are able to live in my paradise. So which is in my garden, which is in paradise, which is in heaven. The child climbs into the old giant's arms. The child climbs into the old giant's arms. The winter melts away before them. They walk into an expanding garden. Into an expanding garden. So here they went to one everlasting expanding garden. So that is the lesson. That is the second part of second unit. Okay, now children, it's time for you for assignment. So open, all of you turn on page number 44, the vocabulary. Look at the following underlined phrases taken from the text and know the meanings. So some phrases are there, broke out. So just look, read those lines. Broke out means what? To come out. So there is assignment for you. You should refer a dictionary and find out the phrasal verbs beginning with break. Some other phrasal verbs beginning with break and use them in your own sentences. That is the assignment given for you. Do that assignment, children. All of you use your dictionary and find out the phrasal verb begin with break. And next assignment is, and another assignment is there. Read the underlined part of sentences taken from the text. This is delightful spot. Delightful means pleasant, and here opposite antonym is gloomy. So here also some antonyms is there. Pick out the antonyms of the underlined words. Underlined word, nobody likes to be in hell. Hell, what is the word, opposite word of hell? Okay, so just find out those antonyms and write in your notebook. Okay, that is the assignment to you. Hope you all understood my lesson. Thank you children. Thank you one and all. Now I would like to thank our Samagra Siksha for giving me this opportunity to share my ideas through this online class. Thank you children. Thank you one and all.